Hey guys, welcome to Doran Woodworking and Designs. I want to share something with you today I received from a friend of mine on the Facebook. He was gracious enough to help me out. I've been having some difficulty finding a decent flattening bit for my CNC machine as far as flattening slabs of wood or even resurfacing the CNC spoil board. But he has a cutter he thinks going to work for me, so he gave it to me. He wants me to do some testing on some different materials. He wishes that I keep his name anonymous for now until we get it dialed in. We're going to be working together as a collab for a while, and until we get everything dialed in, he wants me to keep it under wraps. So for now, it's just going to be the Lou bit, and we're going to hope it rocks. All right. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get this CNC bit chucked up in our router. We're going to get it zeroed out, and we're going to start cutting on just a piece of scrap wood for now, and we'll see how it goes. So let's see if we can get it in there. Pardon the mess of the garage, guys. Working at a very small shop. So we're just going to stick it up in there. Get snugged up. All right. So what we're going to do, I have a Shark CNC HD520. It comes with this little touch plate. We're going to jog our machine over to the material surface. And for right now, this is the beginning of testing. We're just going to touch it off on one cutter and make sure our trimming is good. I think we'll be okay, but we'll find out. Okay guys, we're ready to rock and roll. Alright, so we talking about this 2.5 inch cutter from my friend that donated it to us to give it a try on our channel. It has to be ran at a pretty slow RPM. It's 4,500 RPM at about 9 inches a minute. You get about 100 thousandths depth of cut at most. But we're gonna give it a shot because most of what I've been successful with so far has just been a 1 inch cutter, and it takes a long time. We do a lot of CNC stuff for flattening cutting boards and cleaning up epoxy pores and stuff like that. So this shows a lot of promise in that. So we're gonna go ahead and load in a simple pocketing toolpath just to go ahead and see if we can clean off this board and see if it works for us. So I'm gonna go ahead and load it in my pendant, and we'll see if it works. So like I said, we have to set the router speed at about 4,500 RPMs, which translates to my VFD to 75 Hertz. We'll get dialed in, get it started, and we'll see if this works together. Oh my God, it's spinning. All right, cross your fingers, guys. Here we go. Okay, we just finished our first initial test of the 2.5-inch cutter bit, and I just want to take a second to show you guys the cut quality here. If you look in here close, you can't see any machining marks whatsoever. There's no chip out, there's no burning. It's looking really, really promising. I couldn't be happier so far. That being said, we're going to continue our testing. We have several different things we're going to be testing on. It'll be plywood with epoxy inlay, as well as MDF with some epoxy. We're going to be testing on some white maple and also walnut cutting boards. And then finally, we'll be resurfacing our spoil board. So we're really excited to see what happens, guys. Y'all just stay tuned. And I hope this works as good as that first cut, because it went really, really well. Okay, we're back out in the shop again tonight. We're going to continue our testing for the 2.5-inch slab flattening bit that was donated to us from a friend of ours. And tonight's test will be done on plywood with a total boat epoxy inlay. Just some of the challenges we've had in the past is the plywood will cut smoothly, but sometimes it'll either melt the plastic, or if the epoxy cuts well, it will chip out on the wood. So we're going to test tonight and see how it works. Before we get started, I just want to share a quick tip. Sometimes when we're trying to fasten things to our spoil board, clamps can get in the way. So we came up with an idea. We've been using a blue painter's tape with a layer of super glue with some activator spray in between. Important thing to note, and when you apply the tape off camera, is to make sure you get a good seal surface. So I like to use this little roller to make sure that we really have it down good, because you don't want to let it go in while that router's up to speed. So first thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and roll down our tape. Then we put down a good heavy bead of super glue. So then we'll take and spray our activator spray on the panel itself. You gotta be careful when you go to set it down, it grabs pretty quick. So you wanna make sure you have your panel pretty much lined up where you want it, because when you set it down, it's gonna stick within just a matter of a second or two. Once you have it down, just put a little pressure on it for maybe 10-15 seconds, and then you don't have to worry about screwing it down to your spoil board or using clamps that could get in the way. Okay, so we've just completed our testing of that cutter bit, and a couple things I wanted to mention before we get into the results is, I forgot to mention earlier, is this bit is just a prototype, right? This guy's still trying to develop it and get it the best it can be, and that's one of the reasons why he sent it to us to test it out on the various materials. So unfortunately, as of right now, it is not available for purchase, but just stay tuned, and as soon as it is ready to be released to the market, we will let you know. A couple other quick notes is, any level CNCer, no matter how robust, big, or small your machine is, can run this bit, right? It runs at a very slow feed rate, 90 inches a minute, at about 4,500 RPM. As far as I know, pretty much any machine can run at that rate. So that's kind of exciting because I haven't seen anything else that gave me that cut quality at that rate of speed. We're going to get into the results here. This was a couple cuts we did. This one's on MDF. This one's on plywood with epoxy inlays. You can see there's no chip out, there's no burning. It's very, very smooth. I know you can see some marks where my machine was just a tiny bit out of trim, but we fixed that before we went further on with our other testing. But a couple seconds with an overall sander, I know you can see the lines, but you can't feel anything to the touch. It's all baby butt smooth. So very, very important is there's no burning of the epoxy, there's no chip out, there's no tear out on either the plywood or the MDF. Okay, so let me show you what I was most proud of. It's a cutting board we did. We ran 2 boards the same size. And guys, look at this. There's no burning, there's no chipping, there's no tear out. It's absolutely perfect. Have not touched this with a sander. This was straight off the machine, guys. I have never got walnut and maple to cut like that simultaneously without either chipping out one or burning the other. Really, really impressed with that, guys. So, that being said, the developer is also going to be offering a 3-wing and a 4-wing cutter. I'm most excited about the 4-wing cutter because it can be run at over double the speed as this one. So it should be able to run up close to 200 inches a minute at the same RPM. So it won't put too much of a load on your spindle. So that being said, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. We had fun doing this project. We did spend about 16 to 18 hours on the cutter time, and we never had to rotate the carbide cutter. It's still on the same cutting edge it was, and we're really, really impressed, and I'm looking forward to keep working with this guy in the future. Thank you guys for watching Doran Woodworking and Designs. Y'all follow along on our upcoming projects. We have a lot more to come.
Bye.